Okay, so writing assignment 2 builds on the scenario we started for writing assignment 1. So you are still with Big City Chocolate Company. And thanks to you, partly because of your social media campaign, you've done really well. So you have some perks. You've gotten a raise. You have your own department, which is called the College Collection. So congrats. You also get to oversee the department by yourself, right? So you have some responsibility. You get to make some decisions. As long as you operate within the mission statement here, right? So the mission statement is that the College Collection offers unique signature gourmet confections designed specifically for area schools with an emphasis on distinction in flavor and in presentation. Now, in the past, I know that students really want to quote this mission statement in the writing assignment, and you'll see why in a moment. I really want to make sure that you don't just quote this mission statement, that you really internalize it and synthesize it in your writing assignment. So think about what this actually means in terms of what you can offer. Right, so here is some information about the scenario in which you are going to be responding. So you've received a voicemail from a man named Brian Thompson. He is the athletic director at a college called Big City Tech. So he loves what you do, but he really quickly gets to the point here. He is going to be hosting a baseball tournament, at his college, Big City Tech, but it's in 5 weeks, okay? There are 8 teams that are going to be in this tournament, and it's going to be over a long weekend. And his idea, which sounds wonderful, is to supply each team with a gift basket with your personalized chocolates for the colleges. So he asks you to contact him with the details about how he can actually go about placing this order so that he can get this started for his tournament in just 5 weeks. Okay. There's a problem with this, however. There's several problems, actually. One is time, right? It takes you 4 to 6 weeks to produce one new chocolate, right? So that's for one chocolate. He's asking for 8 chocolates in just 5 weeks. Right? So this is just not feasible. And from the message, it looks like that's what he wants, right? Is one chocolate for each of the 8 teams in the tournament, including Big City Tech, which is actually 9 teams then. So given this 5-week time frame, there is no possible way for you to fulfill that request while operating within the scope of the mission statement, right? Our mission statement here that we have an emphasis on distinction in flavor and in presentation, and they are unique signature gourmet chocolates. Right, so to keep with that mission statement, there's no possible way that you can design 9 chocolates in just 5 weeks. So you meet with your team, right? Remember, you have some authority here. You don't have to necessarily refer to Jeff and Sandy. So you think about possible alternatives that you can offer. Right, so you can't do what he's asking, but perhaps you can offer something better, or something as well as you can do in your time frame. Right, you really want to keep their business. Right, this is a school that you want to work with. You just haven't had the chance to yet. And right, so you already had in mind that you wanted to have to form licensing agreements with this school along with a few others. So you don't want this to go badly, right? Because it may mean that you lose a lot of business for Big City Chocolate Company. So it's a really delicate situation here. So in this scenario here, you have called the number that Brian Thompson has left. He gets very excited when he hears who you are. He confirms that what he wants is those 8 different types of chocolates, each package with the logo of the team. It's going to be in the locker room when the tournament begins. So that is exactly what he wants, and of course this is what we know we cannot possibly do. But before you have a chance to respond, he ends the conversation. Okay. You catch something about a meeting and just send us the bill. But he has ended the conversation before you get a chance to tell him that this is not a feasible option. So you call him back, but he doesn't answer. You leave him a voicemail, and 2 days pass and he hasn't answered or answered any of your calls or returned your messages, right? And so we're already working on that really short time frame of 5 weeks. So it's really important that you get in touch with Thompson, right? And so you decide that you're going to write a letter to Brian Thompson to explain that you're not going to be able to fulfill his request, okay? But more importantly is that you have an alternative that he might be okay with, right? So you want to not only explain that you're not going to be able to fulfill his request, but more importantly, that you have an alternative. And that really should be the focus because of our orange level strategy here of writing with a positive emphasis. So this is a letter, but you do want to make sure you use a subject line. Subject lines grab the attention of the reader. So make sure you use these same principles that we learned about in the red level strategies here, that you have an informative and purposeful subject line so will grab Thompson's attention. And of course, you're going to be great on the correct use of language and professionalism. But you also really need to make sure that you are using these red level and orange level strategies, right? So using goodwill building, right? Emphasizing reader benefits, writing with a positive emphasis, writing with a reader-based emphasis, right? So in our case, really trying to articulate what Mr. Thompson is going to get out of this. So the focus, in order to counteract or negate the negativity of that you're not going to be able to fulfill his request, is you really want to focus on what that alternative is. And when you're telling him that you cannot fulfill his alternative, make sure you do so in a positive manner. So make sure you pay really close attention to those orange level strategies, in particular that section about how you do this in a more positive way without saying no, without refusing to do, because you would love to do this, you just do not have the capacity to do so, right? And emphasizing what it is that he gets out of this. But don't forget to use these red level strategies as well. We're still using direct organization. You still want to give him all the information he could possibly need in order to say, yes, let's go ahead and do this. You want to make it very clear, right? We're operating on a time constraint, to make it very clear what it is that you want to do and take into consideration who this audience is, right? We want to keep their business. So keeping all of these things in mind as you write, right? So hopefully this has given you some good information. Hopefully I've pointed out some important things to you. Well, I know I have, and hopefully you find them important as well. So let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.